How are you all? It's time to start, shall we? You guys ready?
Yes.
Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Cheyenne Mountain Air Force Station. Today, we are here to honor Major Sabrina L. Gonzalez on the occasion of her promotion to the rank of Lieutenant Colonel. The presiding officer for today's ceremony is Lieutenant Colonel Benjamin Johnson, Chief of Standardization and Evaluation, United States Northern Command, Special Activities. We are also honored to have in attendance Major Gonzalez's mother-in-law, Mrs. Guadalupe Vela, and Major Gonzalez's children, Ariana and Leandro, her friend April Garcia, and a woman she considers a second mother, Miss Rosalva Rodriguez Leon. Major Gonzalez has placed a seat of honor in the front for her father, Master Sergeant John H. Allowell, retired, who passed away earlier this year. We would also like to take this opportunity to welcome all of her friends and co-workers of the soon-to-be Lieutenant Colonel Gonzalez. Please rise for the entrance to the official party and remain standing for the playing of our national anthem and invocation. The invocation will be delivered today by Chaplain Carr. Chaplain.
May I invite you to join me in prayer. Almighty God, we honor you today and invite you to join us right here in this historic location on this strategic mountain along the Front Range. Join us in celebrating the promotion of Sabrina Gonzalez to Lieutenant Colonel, United States Air Force. God, we're excited that we get to be here. We're excited to be together. We're excited to share in the joy and the pride of her service and accomplishments. We're always mindful that we depend upon you. We need you every day and in every way to bless our team, our nation, our mission. And we ask you to bless each of us in this important work. We know that we are never separated from the love of God, that we are never outside of your power and care to protect and sustain us. Major Sabrina Gonzalez has served our NORAD and U.S. NORTHCOM team in a key role during a very important time. And we honor her and rejoice with her, even as we celebrate this moment and her great leadership future ahead. God bless all the colleagues and friends and loved ones and certainly family. Bless Addie and Leo on the day before his 7th birthday. God bless them especially. But today's about Sabrina. Grant your favor upon her life. Grant your strength and divine decisional wisdom. And as Sabrina is promoted to Lieutenant Colonel today, may she always sense your presence. May she always know your peace. And may she always find the paths of your kind blessing upon her life. So now grant your favor upon this time, and all gathered here, we humbly pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Carr. Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce Lieutenant Colonel Ben Johnson, Chief of Standardization and Evaluation, United States Northern Command Special Activities.
All right, good afternoon. I want to thank everyone for coming out, spending this time to celebrate Sabrina and all that she's done. Thank you, family, for coming out and doing this, or being a part of this. Leo, thank you for sharing your birthday with your mom. Sabrina, thank you for giving me this opportunity to do this. As I was leaving the house, there was a sign that we have in our house that says, "Go get it." And I just thought, what a great way to sum up Sabrina. There are times in life when you see something, there's something out there you want. Some people see it and are like, it's way over there, obstacles in the way, I'm not going to waste my time with it. Other people are like, hey, can you get that for me? And then there are other people who are the go-get-it kind of people who they don't care what's in the way, how long it's going to take, how hard it's going to be. They fight for it, they work hard for it, they persevere through it. And those are things I think you learn from your parents, hard work and perseverance, and that's kind of built who you are today as an officer and as a person as well. So I started looking through her performance reports, and I'll try to speak to where you'll understand as much as possible, and pardon me if I expand on some things just so they get the gist of it. But I was looking through her performance reports, and you can go through and you can look at every single thing she's done individually, and like she was part of a special team that got President Obama to Cuba, and it's the first time since Calvin Coolidge in 1928 that's happened. She was part of that and made that happen. I could look at that, or I could look at the big picture of roles that she's done and responsibilities she's had and how she's performed in them and how it's given her more responsibility because of her hard work. So I decided to take that approach. So right off the bat, as a major, I'm not going to look at the lieutenant or the captain because those are things that got her to major, but we're now talking about getting her to lieutenant colonel. So as a major, she's an executive officer. So what that means to the front row here is basically she's an assistant. So if you've seen The Devil Wears Prada, she's the Anne Hathaway.
It's a big deal.
She goes in early, she stays late. She's basically there reading emails, sending out reports, building a schedule, all for this very important person. That's her job. Now, a job like that, there's a lot of work that goes into it. There's a lot of frustration that goes into it at times. But on the end of it, you get rewarded. If you do a good job, you get rewarded. If you do a bad job, you get fired. But if you do a good job, you get rewarded. Now, in Sabrina's case, because you get rewarded, a lot of people normally try to get this position. They try and get this job because it develops you to be a future officer at a higher level. So you have to be recommended or nominated by someone. So not everyone gets that opportunity. So Sabrina was. And then you have to interview for the job. And Sabrina won out that interview. So the person that she's working for saw something special in her and said, I want her on my team. Because not only do you build the schedule, not only are you responsible for coordinating meetings and things like that, but that person, because you spend so much time with them, that person's going to confide in you. And they're going to talk to you about things and, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. What are your thoughts on it? So they trust you. They also, because you work a lot of their travel, they give you their credit card information and they give you their passwords and that kind of thing. So Sabrina has the trust of this high-ranking official to do that kind of stuff. And so she does such a great job that the 3-star general at a higher level sees this and it's like, I want her on my staff. So Sabrina gets rewarded for doing hard work with more work. So she's now, not only is she a part of this general staff, but the general makes her the team lead or the chief of this team. And so it's her job to get the message out. Like this general is responsible for thousands of people. The decisions that general makes is going to affect so many people. She's part of the team that's going to get the message out that the general's trying to convey. So she, again, a huge load of responsibility as a brand new major, by the way. A lot of times these positions are filled by lieutenant colonels, which is what she's about to be, or what she is now, I guess. But she's doing this as a young major, so that's a lot of responsibility. She does a great job there. She says, I want to go to Colorado next. I mean, who can blame her? It's Colorado, right? So she says, I want to go to Colorado, and our office is here. Like, hey, we know about this Sabrina person. We want to bring her here as well. So sometimes most people want to go to Colorado anyway, but not everyone gets to come here. But that special activities where we worked wanted her here, so they brought her here. So, and that's when Sabrina and I actually met. I think I got here a day before you did. So Sabrina and I were going through training together, and the training at the time was very difficult because it was broken. You had to teach yourself. There wasn't anyone, the program wasn't a thing where they had someone come in and teach you all the time. So we're coming in on our own, we're having to teach ourselves. And at the very end of it, you got to take this ridiculously tough test. And so Sabrina and I took our test. One of us aced the test, the other one had to take it again. The second time wasn't so hard, but Sabrina did really well at the test. And so coming out of that, we are now qualified to do our job here at the mountain. We've been doing it for a couple weeks, and all of a sudden Sabrina gets identified to take on this additional role called a battle staff coordinator. Now normally people are in the job for about a year before they get identified for that. For me it was a year and a half. I'm a little bit slower. But Sabrina, after a couple weeks, she gets identified to take on this role. So what a battle staff coordinator does is whenever there's like an emergency crisis that's going on, and you need a president in this phone conference, and you need a secretary of defense, and you need all these generals in there, you have someone that has to manage the conference. So this person has to understand the situation and know who is the right person to call on to provide the president with the best information possible to make the right decision. So Sabrina early on is identified as being able to understand that, and then also have the ability to address generals and cut them off when they need to be cut off, and get the next person to talk. So right away she's identified for that. So quickly becoming a battle staff coordinator, she's now the best one we have, like right off the bat. One of the best two, all of a sudden she's the best. And she does a great job at it. So already she's showing, I can take whatever you're gonna throw at me, I can take it, I'm gonna do great at it. So they decide, you know what, we got this training program which is completely busted, so we're gonna give it to Sabrina for her to fix. So she goes in, she re-changes the whole program, and she makes it to where the students are progressing a lot better, they're understanding more. When they get to their final examination, they're performing a lot better. So she does a great job there, and they say, you know what, she's doing a great job with that, we're gonna go ahead and make her a deputy branch chief. Now for her to take on that responsibility, she has to give up the training program. So they replace her with 2 officers. That's the kind of work she was doing. She's been replaced by 2 officers now. So now she's the deputy branch chief, which means she's basically the second in command. When the boss isn't there, she's got to answer for everything. In addition to answering for everything, she's also in charge of a command center that we have that has 68-ish people or so. So she's responsible for making sure that they have the equipment that they need, the training that they need to make sure that all this functions great. So she knocks it out of the park again, and they say, you know what, we need to keep developing her, we need to give her more opportunity, we need to give her her own branch. It's going to be at Peterson, but we need to give her her own branch. So we're going to move her over there, which I had issue with, because she was still our battle staff coordinator, the best one. So to lose her as a, when you're looking at the team, when you have, she makes up 1/3 of our team, and she's the best we have, and now we're going to lose her to take on more responsibility. Now it's a great move for her career-wise, but it really hurt the team, and so now we got to rely on Biff to
Bottom of the barrel.
Bottom of the barrel. But so Sabrina, she takes on this new role, and what I gathered from watching her progress through all these different jobs is she took on whatever was thrown at her. She took it on. She did great. She did great work at it, and she was rewarded with more responsibility and more work. So on that's the work side of Sabrina that I know. From the personal side of Sabrina, she's always been someone who's held me accountable. There have been times when I've announced that I'm going to go on a diet, and so Sabrina has felt like she's going to hold me to that. And so there was one time we were at a ceremony similar to this, and someone cut me a piece of cake. That was probably 2 pieces of cake. I'm not going to complain, but it was probably about 2 pieces of cake worth. And Sabrina saw that, and instead of telling me, hey, you probably shouldn't eat both pieces, or maybe taking half of the cake away, she took the plate out of my hand and threw it away. That's the kind of person that Sabrina is. She holds you accountable to things, so I appreciate that. She's also been a mentor to people. So you have you look around, there's a lot of men in here. You don't have a lot of female, and we did have some female that worked in the office with us. And so Sabrina was someone that they looked up to, and they went to for advice. And so one of them actually wrote me, if I can read it now. It says, Lieutenant Colonel Gonzalez, that's you. I wish I could be there to celebrate your promotion and to properly congratulate you during the special moment as you once did for me. You deserve this for so many reasons, and I am honored to have been part of your journey. I've yet to meet anyone in my career that I wish to emulate until I cross paths with you. You are a true professional and a leader in all the ways that matter, and a force to be reckoned with when you believe in something. Amen. You embody everything I aspire to be as I continue to climb the enlisted leadership ranks. Your support not only during my military journey, but my family life has meant the world to me, and I will forever be grateful. Tech Sergeant Ashley Young. So, with that, I don't want to hold us up any longer. Leo, if you can promise to keep your mom away while I'm eating cake later. Promise? All right, okay. So with that, let's go ahead and move on to the next step. Sabrina, if you'll join me.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the publishing of the promotion orders.
Publish orders.
Attention to orders. The President of the United States, acting upon the recommendation of the Secretary of the Air Force, has placed special trust and confidence in the patriotism, integrity, and abilities of Major Sabrina L. Gonzalez. In view of these qualities and her demonstrated potential to serve in the higher grade, Major Gonzalez is hereby promoted to the rank of Lieutenant Colonel, United States Air Force, effective the first day of August 2020 by direction of the President of the United States. Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated. At this time, Lieutenant Colonel Gonzalez's family and friends will come forward to assist with the pinning on of her new rank.
Okay. Here. We'll take turns.
Okay.
Oh, but can you film while okay, yeah, while we pin her?
Take pictures, Candy.
Addie, Leo, you guys can do that one, okay? So on the inside, maybe? Inside of the hat? No. Yeah, it's gonna be behind that little guy. Right there. Underneath, baby. Okay. Yeah. Let me see. You're fine. They don't. What's your name?
Put it upside down. There you go. She'll have to fix that later.
Put the froggy on. You should. All the guys would be happy, right? Without the frog, just a nice hit on the shoulders.
You're so awesome.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, baby. Mwah. Mwah.
Lieutenant Colonel Johnson will now administer the oath of office to Lieutenant Colonel Gonzalez.
Sorry, please. We're social distancing. Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Sabrina Gonzalez,
Have been appointed a Lieutenant Colonel in the United States Air Force.
having been appointed a Lieutenant Colonel in the United States Air Force,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic.
foreign and domestic,
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
and I'll bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
That I take this obligation freely,
that I take this obligation freely,
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of
or
evasion.
purpose of evasion.
And I will well and faithfully discharge
And I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
upon which I'm about to enter.
on which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor and privilege to introduce Lieutenant Colonel Sabrina Gonzalez.
It's warm in here, but so it just dawned on me after your speech. I was like, wow, I did some really cool stuff. And then I was like, damn, I did it wrong because I kept getting more work to do. I was like, that sucked. I did that whole career wrong after 15 years finally figuring it out. I thank everybody for coming here today. I think I've worked almost personally with every single one of you, which is kind of cool. And I think each one of you have had a special place in my heart and have mentored me in some form or fashion. Everybody has unique personalities in here, which I love. And so I can come to each person with a different cause. And again, I feel like it's almost been a family in special activities. And even moving to building 2, I got warned very early that it's a bunch of cranky old men. It was like a bunch of cranky old civilians. They don't know how they feel about a female being in the office. And then they realize my mouth is dirtier than all of theirs. And then I made them uncomfortable, and that made me feel better in life. It was good. It's been a short and long career at the same time. I think anybody who's been in or realized as you promote, it feels like forever to get there, and once you get there, you feel like you don't have that much time left. And that's kind of how I feel today. There's been a lot of people that have gotten me here, but I'll start here. April. So a funny story about April is I met her at Macaroni Grill when I was in college. And I saw her, she had her hair in these 2 long braids on the side. She looked kind of, exotic, like Pocahontas style. Like, I was like, she's a beautiful woman. So I was like, hi, how are you? I'm Sabrina. She turns around, she's like, hi, my name's April. Like, in the worst Southern accent I had ever heard in my life. And I was like, oh my God, where are you from? And she had just come from South Carolina, but
I don't talk like that
she
anymore.
doesn't talk like that anymore. She lost a lot of the accent. She was all bright smile, and I was like, oh wow. We quickly became instant friends. She's been with me through this journey forever. I have lived with her. Her mother has become a mother to me. Rosie is retired Army. She's been a mentor to me as a female role model, especially in the military. She still advocates for veterans at this point. She counsels. She does a lot of things. So she's still someone that I emulate now, even as I will move out of the military. It's someone that I'll always look up to. She's a mother who has listened to me, drank wine with me and margaritas with me, cried with me.
Make them for you.
She makes them for me. She always has a bed ready for me when I came home, or tortillas ready to go when I came home from a drunk night. It was awesome. I would say that I don't think I would have progressed as much as I would have had I not had her as a role model. And then as I joined another family, I met my mother-in-law, Guadalupe Vela, who again took on another mother role model for me and embraced me as her own, and to this day still treats me as if I'm a daughter of hers, and I think I will always be her daughter, no matter what the circumstances are. She has supported me by raising my children from the time that they were born. She's given them ice cream when she wasn't supposed to, but that's okay. But she has been the best mother-in-law and grandmother to my children that I could possibly ask for, and I can do nothing but thank you for that. And then to my kids, I think everybody who has children in the military and the military children are resilient and smart and able really to conquer any task that's really given with them, and I think that's a blessing and a curse, because then they also don't make ties a lot because we move so often, but they have been nothing but rocks for me. And sweet, I know you guys have heard their phone calls in the office for when they fight or when they need something, but again, thank you guys. I've got little gifts for you. So for my little mini Air Force guys, you've got your little flight suit buddy. Thank you. And for you, you've got your own female version. See, she's got the eyelashes. And then for my mother-in-law, even though I'm not your real daughter, you're still a proud Air Force mom. So thank you. And same thing with you, Rosie. I know I'm not Army, but you forgive me anyway. One last thing. As many of you guys know, I did lose my father this year. There is no man who could have been prouder of his daughter than my father. For all of his faults, the one thing he did teach me is to do the best that I could in everything, and there wasn't a day that went by that he didn't tell me that he was proud of me. And so I know it was hard that he didn't get to see me promote today, but the one thing I do want to do is give him my first salute as a lieutenant colonel. So just a little bit of a prayer moment. Okay, that's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony. Lieutenant Colonel Gonzalez and her family invite you to stay for a small reception in the entryway lobby. Lieutenant Colonel Gonzalez will also be celebrating at Red Leg Brewing Company after the ceremony for those that would like to enjoy an early start to their weekend. Thank you for attending today's ceremony. Please stand for the departure of the official party in our Air Force song.
Let's see if Navy gets it right. Nope. All right, guys, let's go. Go eat.